Have you ever wondered why sometimes your heart feels an overwhelming peace when you stay at home, away from the distractions of the outside world? Why does stepping into gatherings or crowded marketplaces make you uneasy, while sitting quietly with the Qur'an in your hand at home brings you calmness and serenity? Is it laziness? Is it antisocial behavior? Or could it actually be something far more spiritual? Many of us overlook the fact that the desire to remain at home, to limit interaction with unnecessary worldly gatherings, is not always a sign of weakness. In Islam, it can actually be a sign of strength, a sign of protection from Allah, and a path towards purification of the soul. Today, we are going to uncover the spiritual reasons behind the desire to stay at home, a perspective rooted in Qur'an and Sunnah and the wisdom of the righteous scholars. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, how are you doing today? Welcome to the Path of Peace. Today's discussion is very close to the heart because it touches something that many of us silently experience but rarely talk about. Sometimes we just don't want to go out. We don't want to socialize unnecessarily. We don't feel like attending every wedding, party, or gathering. And then guilt starts to creep in. People call us boring, antisocial, or even depressed. But what if, in reality, this pull to stay at home is a gift from Allah, a spiritual safeguard, a reminder that peace comes not from people but from Him? In this video, we will journey through the Quran, hadith, and the writings of classical scholars to understand why believers sometimes feel the need to stay home, how solitude can protect and purify the heart, how to balance between seclusion and community, and how our homes can become fortresses of imaan and places of barakah. So grab your tea, sit back in a quiet corner of your home, and let us begin. Let us begin with a powerful hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. A time will come when the best property of a Muslim will be sheep, which he takes to the tops of mountains and the places of rainfall so as to flee with his religion from tribulations. Sahih al-Bukhari 19. This narration is profound. It tells us that when fitnah spreads in society, when corruption, shamelessness, and sins dominate, sometimes the safest way to protect one's religion is to withdraw, to seek solitude, and to avoid unnecessary mixing with people who can harm our faith. It is not always about running away from responsibilities. It is about running away from sins and preserving what matters most, our imaan. Another narration strengthens this idea. The Prophet said, "The safety of a man is in staying in his house, controlling his tongue, and weeping over his sins." Musnad Ahmad Hazen. Here, three elements are linked together: staying in one's home, guarding one's speech, remembering one's sins in humility. This shows that sometimes the best environment for spiritual growth is not the marketplace, not the cafe, not the endless social gatherings, but the quiet, blessed space of one's home. Main content: detailed Islamic script. Now let us expand deeply into the spiritual reasons behind the desire to stay at home. 1. Home as a place of barakah, blessing. The Prophet emphasized that homes should not be empty of worship. He said, "Do not turn your houses into graves." Indeed, Shaitan flees from the house in which Surah Al-Baqarah is recited. Sahih Muslim 780. Graves are places of silence and inactivity. The Prophet warns us not to let our homes become spiritually dead. Instead, they should be filled with Quran recitation, salah, and dhikr. This transforms a home into a mini mosque, a place where angels descend and Shaitan flees. When a believer senses peace inside the home, it is often because the presence of dhikr and Quran has purified the space. Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, wrote that Quran in the home is like light in darkness, pushing away whispers of Shaitan and inviting tranquility. Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah, emphasized that voluntary prayers at home bring continuous blessings for the household, unlike limiting all worship to the masjid. Thus, when your heart pulls you towards staying home, it may be because Allah is guiding you towards an environment where your faith is protected and nourished. 2. Avoiding fitnah and protecting imaan. The outside world today is full of temptations, immodesty in dress, endless gossip, backbiting, riba-based systems, heedlessness, and constant distractions. The Prophet once said, Soon the best wealth of a Muslim will be sheep, which he follows to the peaks of mountains and the places of rain, fleeing with his religion from tribulations. Sahih al-Bukhari, 19. Why flee? Because fitnah destroys hearts, weakens imaan, and leads to sins that may seem small but accumulate into mountains. Markets, while necessary, were considered by the Prophet to be the least beloved of places to Allah. He said, "The most beloved of places to Allah are the mosques, and the most hated of places to Allah are the markets." Sahih Muslim, 671. Why? Because markets are filled with deception, greed, swearing by Allah falsely, and distractions from remembrance. In a world where sins are normalized, staying at home can mean protecting the eyes, ears, and heart. One of the greatest benefits of staying home is the opportunity to engage in khalwa, spiritual seclusion. The Prophet himself practiced this before prophethood by retreating to the cave of Hira, reflecting and worshipping Allah in silence. He also practiced itikaf in the masjid during Ramadan, dedicating himself entirely to worship. Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, explained in Ihya Ulum al-Din that solitude helps the heart escape from distractions, purify itself from worldly desires, focus on Qur'an, dhikr, and dua, and connect directly with Allah without external interruptions. Sometimes when you feel uneasy outside and peaceful inside, it is because your soul is craving silence and Allah's presence over noise and heedlessness. The Prophet also taught that the home is a place of barakah and spiritual strength. He said, "The prayer of a man in his house is better than his prayer in my mosque, except for the obligatory prayers." Sahih al-Bukhari, 7290. This shows that voluntary prayers are best performed at home, as they bring light and blessings into the household. For women especially, the Prophet gave a clear message. Do not prevent the female servants of Allah from going to the mosques of Allah, but their houses are better for them. Abu Dawud, 567. The home, therefore, becomes a fortress of modesty and worship, especially when it is filled with Qur'an, dua, and righteous actions. Sometimes Allah protects His servant from sin by placing in his heart a disinterest in gatherings, clubs, and unnecessary outings. Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, wrote that Allah may close doors of fitnah for a believer, guiding his heart towards solitude and worship. This disinterest is not weakness, it is divine protection. If your heart leans towards staying home, it could be because Allah wants to keep you away from sins you might otherwise fall into. At the same time, Islam is a religion of balance. Total isolation is not encouraged except in extreme cases of fitnah. The Prophet participated in society, visited the sick, attended janazas, helped the needy, and guided the people. He also said, "The believer who mixes with people and bears their harm with patience is better than the believer who does not mix with people and does not bear their harm." Sunan Ibn Majah, 4032, Hazen. Therefore, balance is key. Stay home when gatherings are filled with sins, but go out when it is for salah, dawah, helping others, or fulfilling necessary duties. This balance ensures that solitude becomes a tool for purification, not an excuse for neglecting responsibilities. Dear brothers and sisters, the desire to stay home is often misunderstood. But in Islam, it carries profound spiritual wisdom. The home can be a sanctuary filled with Qur'an and Salah. Staying home can protect us from fitnah and sins. Solitude allows deep reflection and connection with Allah. Homes become fortresses for families and safe spaces of modesty. And sometimes Allah Himself places this desire in our hearts as a form of mercy. So, if your heart feels peace inside your home, don't dismiss it. Cherish it. Use that time for Qur'an, Salah, dhikr, and dua. Make your home a place where angels descend and shaitan flees. Because in the end, true peace is not found outside, it is found in the remembrance of Allah. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:28. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with more Islamic content. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message.